Hey guys, it's Kara. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a speed build, a little bit different than what I've done so far in this channel, but it is a 1800s farmhouse speed build. And I'm doing this because I'm actually starting a brand new challenge here on my channel. It's called the Upgrowth Challenge by Holly BB. And if you've never watched her before, she's super big on Twitch. I think she has a YouTube channel as well, but she's awesome. She made this challenge. It's like a combination of the Decades Challenge, a History Challenge, Legacy, and you basically go through time with each generation moving forward. And you start in the late 1800s. And I'll link in the description down below the official website for the rules, so you can check those out if you're interested. But basically, in the first generation, you have really strict rules for your house. And like you can't have electricity, you have to have wood furniture, and you have to simulate like the 1800s. So I decided to build this farmhouse. And I looked at everything I could to try and get ideas because obviously I don't really know what houses looked like in the late 1800s. But I think I got a pretty good grasp on it. I kind of went for a farmhouse style. I found some really good inspiration pictures. As you can see right now, I was playing around a lot with the layout because I don't know about y'all, but I have an issue where sometimes when I build, I make things way too big. And at first, I felt like I was building it and it was way too big, so I wanted to size it down. Then I quickly realized that once I started putting furniture in, it wasn't as big as I thought. So I went ahead and made it back to the original size, give or take. But yeah, so it's supposed to be an old house, like no modern amenities or anything. And the sim I created to start this challenge with, who will be living here, his name is Maxwell Bartlett, and he's going to be a farmer. So I downloaded a bunch of those like new cool mods that are like the chicken coop mod, the canning mod, the farm animal mod itself, which is really cool. And I'm going to be playing with those. So if you are interested in seeing how those mods kind of play out in game, definitely keep up with that challenge. Go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. So the first part should be coming out hopefully like tomorrow. Fingers crossed, we'll see though. I'm really looking forward to it. I love historical gameplay. It just makes it so challenging. And so as you can see, I kind of started to plop down furniture into the rooms to get a feel for how big it was. And once I started doing that, that's when I felt more confident that okay, I'm not making this crazy huge, because this is still supposed to be fit for a growing family. And I did want to keep it pretty I guess realistic to the time period. Like obviously if you're living in the 1890s, I think it is, the late 1800s, you're not going to have the resources to just upgrade your house whenever you have a baby. So the master bedroom is downstairs and the upstairs is just kind of an open area, which that is going to be reserved for future kids' bedrooms and any extra spaces that we need. So I don't want to have to build onto the house. Another interesting thing about the first generation in this challenge is you don't have indoor plumbing. So we'll get to it eventually, but I do put an outhouse in the back, and you can only have one toilet, one bathtub, and one sink, and they all have to not be inside the main house. So that'll be interesting, especially once we start having a lot of kids. But I had a ton of fun building this. Obviously, it's very, especially once you get to the interior, it is clearly not a modern house, but I feel like the shape and the layout would still be really easy to use in a modern farmhouse style. You'd probably just want to redecorate it or add in a few more modern amenities. But it's a pretty classic farmhouse sort of look. And I had a lot of fun doing the interior when we get to that, just because it is so limiting. So I don't know. Having some challenge is always good, right? I'm really excited to start this Let's Play. And my idea for, here I am building the outhouse. So I don't know why, I'm just really excited about this outhouse. But so to make money, there's a few different options that you can do in the first generation, but I wanted to use these mods that I've downloaded to the best of their ability. And so I am going to have my founder just be a farmer. So we'll get to that later in the video, but I built out a barn for my farm animals to live in. Because yes, the farm animal mod, like, I mean, they're still technically dogs, but they look like cows and sheep and goats, so it's pretty exciting. And so I built a barn for them to live in with like a little pen area to keep them in, to keep it kind of more realistic. And I also built the farm part, so that has some different vegetables and fruits and flowers, herbs, whatever, all that stuff. So to make money, I'm going to have my founder do that. You can, with the farm animal mod, which I will have linked down below in the description, I put together actually a PDF that has links to all the custom content and mods that I've used for this build / the gameplay. I wanted to throw in the farm animal mod because it's just really cool. And I imagine that some people will be interested in that, but that will be linked down below in a PDF for you guys. So, yeah, I really wanted to make it realistic, so I kept them in their own area. I didn't want them to be able to come into the house or anything, so I used gates and doors and used the door lock function to disallow pets, so they can't actually go through those doors. The interior I had a lot of fun with. As you can see, we're starting to get to that a little bit. These new walls that just came with Island Living were perfect for this, because I love how they kind of have a distressed look to them. We have a lot of other wood panels from other packs, but they just look too new, too nice. You know, I needed something a little grungier. The kitchen, which I'm working on right now, is actually like one of my favorite parts of the build. I just feel like it looks so cozy and homey, and it's just also like so unique to me because the sink is outside on like the side patio, which we'll see later. And so, like, you know, you cook dinner, you have to clean up your dishes, you have to go outside and wash it in like it's like a dry sink, I think, that I downloaded. It's a mod, and I don't know, I just think it'll be really fun to play. I kept the house, again, like not too big because I wanted it to feel cozy. And if you were a farmer in the late 1800s, then you definitely probably wouldn't have a big home because you have to, like, you can only build with what resources you have. So, and I think that'll be really fun to play in too. Ooh, I also was super obsessed with these little hay things. I downloaded a hay barrel set, and it's that little hay box, hay barrel, functions as I believe it's a couch. And then I had a ton of fun placing these little like hay rugs everywhere, just make it look a little messy, like a farmer lives here. He's, you know, coming in from the fields, tracking in some hay from the animals. And at the start of this Let's Play, there will be just a single man living here. So, you know, I imagine he's probably not keeping the place super clean. And the fireplace, what was I going to say about the fireplace? Oh yeah, it's super important because seasons. Yeah, the fireplace, I wanted to put more, but there just wasn't room. But, you know, I do have seasons installed. So the fireplace is going to be super useful when it starts to be wintertime, because this challenge takes place in Windenburg. And I don't know if you guys know, if you don't have seasons or if you haven't played it that much, but Windenburg gets so cold in the winter. It's so snowy, and you have to keep your Sims warm somehow. So I think I have two fireplaces, because the one in the corner in the dining room is technically also a fireplace. So hopefully that keeps my little 1800 Sims nice and toasty. I had such a difficult time choosing counters for the kitchen because none of them looked quite right. Obviously, they're all meant to be more modern. Even the more Victorian style, I was being so extra about, being so particular. I was like, this one has a metal handle. I think I went with the ones from base game. The ones that I'm putting down right now are the ones that I keep. But I felt like those were the closest that I could get, and I like the colors. I feel like it went really well. And speaking of colors, I know I was kind of going on about the walls from Island Living, but the floors, the wood floors that I use throughout the house, are from Get Famous. They were the saloon floor. And honestly, Get Famous had so much good stuff for this. Not necessarily functional, but decor-wise, because, you know, they have, in the acting crew, they have the, like the Old West setup that you can do. So I used a lot of decor items from that. I put the well that came with that outside, which was really fun. And I just had so much fun using different clutter pieces. I'm sure you've seen it already a few times, but I wanted to go into the debug mode to get some of the little odds and ends that aren't in the regular game. But I just want to make it feel very homey and very realistic as possible, which obviously is a little limited, but I think I did pretty good with it. And it's just so warm and cozy. And I love how everything is lit by candles. That's another thing. You can't have electronic lights. I think at the beginning I put down like the subtle saucer light all over just to light the place up while I decorated it, but I did go through and unfortunately delete them all. I might have like hid, it looks like I hid one in the kitchen chandelier there. I'm not sure if I remember to take that one out or not, but whatever, it's all good. If you won't tell, I won't tell. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just pulling out a ton of clutter items because again, whenever you have the debug mode on, like so much stuff pops up and it's like impossible to find it again sometimes. So I would find something and like, oh, I want that. Let me go put it in the kitchen or in the front yard or whatever. So I had a ton of fun with that. And I don't know, I loved making this build and I'm super excited to like do the different generational builds because like after this generation, the first generation is over, then you go into, I believe it's like the 19 teens and into the 20s. So that will be fun. I'm really excited to be able to make like a 50s house when we get there. So I just love historical gameplay and I really like the challenging aspect of this build. And I don't know, I made some Sims for the neighborhood to kind of fill it up. I started giving townies some makeovers, and I'm just so excited to make the first part. I might even actually make it tonight after I film this voiceover and get this video up because I'm just so excited to play it. I think it's going to be a blast. Mostly because I'm really excited about the farm animal mod. Like, you have no idea. I mean, you might have played with it. I'm sorry to assume that you didn't play with it yet. But if you haven't, you have no idea. It's adorable. Honestly, I downloaded it because I was like, oh, like this will be a cool feature to have in this sort of gameplay. But I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. I thought I was just going to like, oh, whatever. They're basically just like reskinned dogs. It's not anything fancy, whatever. But I haven't even played around with the actual function of the mod as far as harvesting the wool and the dairy goes. And if you're curious about how this mod works, there are some mod reviews already out there. Off the top of my head, I really like Urban Sims mod review on the farm animal mod, so definitely check that out if you're curious about how it all like functions together. But yeah, so I haven't even played with the actual functionality of it, but just seeing the animals like literally looking like a cow and a sheep and a goat, that's what I have right now. It's so cute. Like I was dying. And I think I snuck a photo in at the very, very end of this video of my like cow dog asleep on the hay barrel couch that I put in the barn. And it just looks so precious and so like, I don't know, it's really believable. Obviously, like it's a little weird when the cow starts barking, but we can ignore that, it's fine. So I'm really excited to play with all these mods because I feel like those are the type of mods that in my regular gameplay, I never really have a reason to use them or get to use them. And so it'll be really fun to play with them, especially in the context of, oh, like this is all you can do for work because it's the 1890s. So I have the farm animal mod, the canning station mod, which has been around for a while and has been popular for a while. But again, was another thing that I never like saw a need for it in any other gameplay because I tend to play more like modern style game. And what else? I also got the functional chicken coop, which is another way to get food, and I believe you can sell the eggs for money because that is kind of the whole thing of this challenge is I'm going to be making money off the land. So the farm animals, the chickens, and the I don't know if we're going to sell the preserves or not. We might just save that for our family to eat, or we might do one of, you know how they have the little like yard sale tables. I might do that. Also, those little mason jar candles, those are from the Plum Bob Tea Society, one of the packs. I believe it's the Cottage Garden Stuff pack, but those things were my lifesaver. I'm sure you've seen me put them around this build like a bajillion and one times because they're candles, so they're allowed by the rules. You can only have candlelight, obviously, but they're so bright. They really brighten up the room. So I was kind of like, I even put like a really extra shelf like by the staircase area just so I could put some of those candles to brighten it up because the hallway was kind of dark. So those definitely saved my life. That book on that desk is actually a modded computer. One of the rules in the challenge says that I believe your Sims can quote unquote use the computer for up to an hour a day. Obviously, like, can't actually be a computer, but that's kind of cool for people to get their fun up or to do other things. I had a lot of fun with the bird feathers that came with cats and dogs. I found those in Buy to Bug and they looked awesome on the walls. And here I am making that first outside patio area. And that big box thing is the dry sink. I downloaded it. It's a mod from it was like a Frontier pack. And there's a few items in there that I use throughout this build. Again, will be linked in my CC list PDF down below. But it's super cool. And I put some more candles up there because you can never have enough. And I kind of put our little laundry area out here because I'm really excited to do the hand laundry, the wash bucket and the drying line. So that'll be fun. The women in the first generation obviously are not allowed to have jobs. So I'm really looking forward to having his future wife like do the laundry and keep up with the animals and kind of help around the house like that. So the more work for her, the better, because sometimes if your Sim doesn't have a job, then it's just like, what are they doing with their lives? So we're going to keep Homegirl busy. And the women are actually not technically allowed to help with the farming as far as the crops, but there's nothing in the rules about the farm animals. So I think I'll probably have her help with that in terms of like playing with, because again, they're really just actually dogs. But whatever. I put some of the like training hoops in the barn area too, so maybe the wife can help train them up. The set that I'm putting down now is really cool. It was a conversion from Sims 3, Sims 3 Pets, I believe. And it just looked so legit when I put it in there. Like, I really wanted to make it feel like a real, like, not necessarily a barn because it is open air, but like an animal shed, whatever it'd be called. But that's like where, in theory, the animals would go stay in the evenings, or in bad weather, they could go inside. And I have that area open to the animals as well as the outside yard area, which I fence in. But right here, I'm creating the entrance to this barn area, and that has a door that I do lock, and no animals are allowed to go through it. So hopefully we won't wake up with like a cow sleeping on our couch in the living room. But fingers crossed that that actually pans out. There's also all this cute like horse decor, like saddles and whatnot. Made me kind of wish we had horses just for this gameplay. But oh well, decorative will have to do. The set just like really brought it all together for me. And I had a lot of fun like placing all the decor, making it look, I just want to make it look like someone was actually using this place and make it look like a real barn. There I go with the hay again. I'm obsessed with that hay. I put down some of the hay chairs. That was a chair and a bench. And I'm about to start building the yard area, which is kind of the area that the animals can run around in and play around and eat, whatever. The training loops will be in here. And that the barrels, those are from Get Famous. And they look so good. Like, it's just worked out so perfectly. I snuck in some toys. I couldn't decide which of the dog toys looked the most like period accurate, because obviously there's none. And I ended up going with the I believe it was like the chicken drumstick one. I was like, well, I mean, we have a chicken coop. That's believable, right? And you can see the chicken coop right there in the middle floating around. I'm really excited to use that. Also, I'm sure you noticed, but there's been a few like awkward pauses in the video. And that was because I was probably like taking a break to look on Pinterest for inspiration and Google and stuff like that. I tried to edit them out as much as possible, but it looks like I missed a few, but no worries there. It's all good. And this garden, or I guess it should be called the farm, was honestly my nightmare, because part of the rules say that you are allowed to place debug fruit and vegetables. You don't have to like harvest them from around the world or purchase the packets or whatever. You can just place them and plant them. And I tried doing that. And I don't know, I never figured out if it was because of a mod or what, because the mod that I thought might have been causing it, I took it out and then it was working fine. But like, I didn't try anything else first. So but I couldn't plant them. I put all these debug plants out. I spent like 15 minutes looking for them all, couldn't plant them. I went into the gallery because I don't know if you know this, but if you go into the gallery and the room section, you can search plants and you'll find tons of people who have uploaded gardens that usually they're uploading like the perfect level plants. So that's really cool if you're looking for that. That was another issue though, is I didn't want to necessarily have the perfect level plants, so it kind of worked out that it didn't happen that way. But I placed a room of all the plants that I wanted, and he still couldn't plant them because even though you put it in game from the gallery as a plant, it like reverts to like you have to plant it. But he couldn't. He could only eat it, and so that was really kind of annoying. But so I eventually had to go in game and I bought like a bunch of seed packets from just the buy catalog that came with seasons, and then filled up the garden that way. Had to do it the hard way. But part of this challenge is you can create whatever house you want, and then when you're done, you just have to lower their money down to 1,000 simoleons. So that's kind of cool, also kind of scary because our bills are going to be nuts. Like, especially because I think this lot ended up being like $60,000 or something. So we'll see about that. I was just adding in some pathways between all the different parts of the lot where you might want to go. Adding a little decoration to the outside. I don't want to do too much, make it look too manicured. I wanted it to look a little bit wilder, just because, again, like single guy living here, it's just a farmhouse in the 1800s. They're not worried about curb appeal. But I did want some greenery around the place, some grass, some trees. It kind of sucked that I started the save in spring. I mean, I thought spring would be a good time, but it's early spring, so it's still cold, so everything is still dead from winter. So I wish I could have seen the lot in peak like summertime or fall, like whenever things are, I guess it would be summertime, when they would all be alive and like thriving, not just dead and creepy looking. But oh well, hopefully we'll get there and it'll look good. And if not, well, we'll have to reassess. But here I am working on the outhouse area. I kept the toilet and the bathtub separate because I figured if there's only going to be one of each, you know, I don't want it to be a situation where like someone is taking a bath and the other person has to go to the bathroom. So that's that. And I started doing this little workshop area, kind of jumping around a lot at this point because I was kind of like, okay, I only have a few things left to do, but I want to do this here and do this here and do this here. So this area that's the canning station, the preserve station. I was going to make that our little canning room and just kind of like a, I don't know, more decorative than anything. It just really, the only functional item it has is that canning station. I think I put an easel in there as well. Because the women are allowed to paint for fun. They're just not allowed to sell them unless their husband is like in the artist track or something. But yeah, I think I'm almost done with the decoration here. And then I think I do some stuff on the exterior. But we'll see. I'm finishing up the little workshop now. Adding in some decoration. Oh, master bedroom. Yeah, very important. I'm doing the master bedroom real quick. I kept it, again, simple. Again, single guy, probably doesn't care too much. And I did have to test to make sure that a baby bassinet would fit in there whenever we start having kids. So pretty exciting. That mirror from Vampires worked out great in this space because it like looks kind of like old and dingy. So I don't know. I'm just so excited to start this. I'm so excited to get the speed build up. I really think I want to film the first part. And I have a few more things that I'm going to do, and then we're going to segue over into the screenshots. Yeah. All the photos that I took of this build. Ooh, this upstairs area is like an attic / future kids bedroom, but I wanted to make it look cool. So I put some like storage stuff in here, which you'll see. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you want to keep up with this challenge. And now we're going to jump right into the photos.